What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? What is up? Welcome back to another live stream. Can't talk live stream from the Urban Outlaw. My name is Bobby, and welcome in. Today we are going to be talking about fishing again, and this is going to be focused on my top 5 striped bass fishing lures for the season. So I will run them through not only this season, but pretty much every season. All 5 of these are pretty good bets to net you some good sized striped bass. So we will wait a few minutes and let some people get in here. But that is the topic of today's live stream. I'm going to be telling you or giving you my top 5 favorite lures for striped bass. Once again, thanks to everybody for coming in. Much appreciated. I was running a little bit late. My dinner ran a little bit late. But I appreciate all of y'all for coming up. So once again, we'll wait for a few people to get in here, and then we will get rolling. But once again, I appreciate all of y'all for the support. We'll wait. Once again, we'll wait for a couple people to get in the stream, and then we will get going. I'm going to get myself organized and take out the lures that I want to talk about. But shout out to y'all. Hopefully everybody is having themselves a good night. I see one person in here. Shout out to whoever that is. That one. Yep. I see one person in here, so I have 3 out of the 5, so bear with me here, guys. There we go. Perfect. Once again, I appreciate the support. Welcome. If you are new, welcome to the Urban Outlaw. My name is Bobby, and this channel is primarily focused on fishing and firearms. The topic of today's live stream is going to be my top 5 favorite lures for striped bass fishing from the shore. Now, we could do a completely different video and make one from going off the back of a boat or trolling. But that's for another video for another day. Right now, it is going to be top 5 favorite lures fishing from shore. Fishing from shore is a little different than going off the back of a boat, because the back of a boat is definitely more convenient. When you control your lures behind the back of a boat, you get a more consistent movement out of it, because the boat engine is doing the work for you, and you don't have to when you reel, you can get variations in speed ever so slightly, but the boat engine's always going to be consistent. So it's definitely a different animal when you're trolling lures compared to when you're reeling them from the shore. So let's dive right into this one, guys. First and foremost, these each of these lures are they cover a different area of the water column. Striped bass are very picky fish, very picky. They don't like it when the atmospheric pressure and when weather conditions take them out of their comfort zone. They will completely stop feeding when that happens, and they will wait for conditions to improve. So they're a very picky fish. So one thing to keep in mind before we get going is you always want to have a wide assortment of lures when you go fishing from the shore, because striped bass are such a picky fish and such a versatile fish. They eat pretty much anything, kind of like a tiger shark, where they're not very picky what they eat. Striped bass are the same way. They'll eat pretty much anything that they can that they can um that they can gulp up. Anything from lobsters and crabs to pogie and other smaller bait fish, even squid as well. Anything that is basically small enough for them to chomp, they'll go after. So that would be one of the tips that I would give you guys, is just always remember to carry a wide assortment of lures. But like I said, this live stream is going to be primarily focused on my top 5 lures that I use to fish for them. So let's get going. So the first one, my first lure, number 5, would be this Daddy Mac Eel. Let me show you guys here. This is a segmented lure. In the middle of it is I believe it's a cloth material, heavy duty cloth material. This eel is from this is the I believe this is the 9 the 9-inch eel. It has a very realistic movement. I mean, the segments really do make it look realistic when you pull it through the water. It's very heavily made to these. The treble hooks are no joke. They're definitely oversized for the lure. So this would be number 5, and this one is a verse. This is a very I like an eel like this because you basically determine where it's going to sit in the water column. Come on, refocus. Come on, there we go. All right, now we're back at it. Better. So number 5, the Daddy Mac Eel. That one is, like I said before, it's nice. It's nice having a lure like that because it doesn't stay in one area of the water column. However fast you reel it is you can determine the depth of that eel as it's retrieved, either fast or slow. So that's always nice. It isn't stuck in one area of the water column. So that is the segmented eel from Daddy Mac Lures. It's a local Massachusetts company. So if you guys like to support your local small businesses, they make some very, very high quality lures. This thing has been banged off of a dock, and it takes a beating, and the paint hasn't chipped on it yet. The detail is still there. Very, very good. Very, very good lure. So that is number 5, the Daddy Mac Eel in the 9-inch length. They also make a 6 and a 12. Now we're going to move to number 4, which is top water. So this is a Whopper Plopper. And that is the name. I know it's kind of weird, but this is a Whopper Plopper saltwater series. The tail end of it spins. Let me show if I can, so you can get that to move. It spins and it creates a lot of turbulence in the water. And stripers are very lazy fish. So if they see something wounded or they can detect something wounded on the top of the water, they will absolutely go for it and not think twice about it. These top water lures, like a spook as well, a spook as well, work really well, and you kind of pull it like a walk the dog motion when you retrieve it. They definitely, these a lot of top water lures, they will induce a lot of heavy hits on the when fish eat these lures, these top water lures. There's no mistake. It's a take. There is no, there is no mistake in it. They are trying to eat that lure, and they will fully commit to it. So any of the top water, like a pencil popper or the saltwater popper, work great for striped bass. So number 5 was the Daddy Mac Eel. Number 4 was the top water. Let me pull another thing out of here real quick. I kind of want to group these in the same category here. So let me pull this out of the tackle box real quick, y'all. All right, so now we're gonna move on to paddle tail fish and squid. So an example of this would be this here. These paddle tail. So this is the squid. This is a squid, and I will show you. This is the bunker or shad version of that. These paddle tail lures work exceptionally well. This also comes in a bigger size. I will show you guys that real quick. You can get them in different colors and different shapes. I'll show you another size up from that. So this is an example of one that is a size bigger. These paddle tails have a very unique kind of rocking back and forth motion in the water. They will induce big strikes as well. So that is number 3. The paddle tail swim baits and the squids. You could even put jerk baits in there as well. Those also work very good. The anything with a lifelike wounded motion is going to induce a strike from a striped bass. Now, sorry guys, having to reach here. Number 2 would be this here. This is a Daiwa Sp Minnow in the bone. Oops, sorry guys. In the bone camo. This is my favorite camo to fish for striped bass, and the bone camo works very, very well. So those like I previously mentioned, those swim baits, jerk baits, and paddle tails, they all will sink pretty far down into the water column. So if you have fish, if you have striped bass that are down in deeper water, you can easily throw one of those paddle tail or jerk baits or squid out there, and basically just count to, give it a 3 count or a 5 count, let it sink, and then reel it up. And you can get down. If the fish are down in deeper water, you have to go to them. And those swim baits, those paddle tails, have a pretty heavy duty weight in them, and they will sink fairly rapidly if you let them. So like I said, the Sp Minnow is going to come in at number 2. That is the bone camo, another camo that works very, very well. Very, very well in the Cape Cod area, at least in my area, is the purple and silver. So the top of it is purple black, and then the sides of it are silver. When it swims through the water, it rocks. It'll do one of these. So you get all of the different colors to come through when it swims. The Sp Minnow is probably the lure that me personally I use the most, and I've caught the most fish on. So that would be number 2, the Sp Minnow. Now you can get that. What's convenient about those Sp Minnows is you can fish them in 2 different styles. There is a floating and a sinking version of the Sp Minnow. So let me show you how you can determine if they're not labeled in the store, and you have to kind of determine it on your own. They are labeled here underneath. There's a label here, and it'll say an F or an S, and that's how you can tell sinking or floating. Now, the Sp Minnows that sink, you want to fish them like a jerk bait. So basically 1 or 2 reels and then a good quick yank on the rod. 1 or 2 reels, a good quick yank on the rod, and then you do that as a retrieve from front to back. That's how you fish the sinking version of that. The floating version of the Daiwa Sp Minnow, you just want to reel at a consistent speed from the moment it hits the water to it when it gets back to you on shore. So once again, the sinking version of the Sp Minnow, you will fish it as a jerk bait, and the floating version, you would just reel at a consistent speed from start to finish. Now, number 1 would have to be live bait. The number 1 easiest way to catch striped bass around here is live bait. It's live pogey, live so you can't go wrong with an eel, a sand eel. And if you want a guaranteed fish, almost guaranteed, every time you drop a line in the water, you want to pull up a striped bass, go get you a sand eel, a live sand eel. The only downfall to it is they stink. Live bait is so if you're going to do frozen bait, which I consider that's live bait, frozen bait, like the frozen pogey or the frozen eel, is one thing. Me personally, I don't like dealing with it. I would rather use a lure over a live bait. I think it's a pain to have to deal with them. But the number one would have to be live bait. You can't go wrong with it. A live sand eel hooked through the snout and sent down to the bottom on a drop fishing rig is a pretty much clear winner for pulling up striped bass. So number 1 is definitely the live bait. Honorable mentions would probably have to be the Bucktail Jigs with whatever kind of tail you want to put on it. You can put like a swim tail, a swimming tail on the end of it, or a grub with a swim tail on the end of it, or like a piece of the pork rind. Those are incredibly popular. The red dyed pork rind is really popular on the end of it. That's if your fish are down deep, but that would have to be, if I was going to put an honorable mention in there, any of the jigs, the Bucktail Jigs. Those especially when you drag them behind a boat, if you're trawling, those are pretty much guaranteed to net you big fish. Striper can't really ignore those Bucktail Jigs in the water, especially if you know how to fish them. So to recap, the top water decision for me was a spook or a Whopper Plopper. They work incredibly efficient. The Daddy Mac Eel in the 9-inch length. The Sp Minnow in bone. And last but not least, the live bait. So that's kind of what what everybody missed. If you're just coming in, once again, I appreciate the support. It is greatly appreciated. I just wanted to come on here, guys, and just give you my top 5 lures that I use to catch some striped bass. And I hope that helped. Here's another thing too. None of these lures are expensive. None of them. The most expensive lure, to be honest, was the Daddy Mac Eel. That was $16, I think, that I spent on it. 16 or I think $17. So $17 for the Daddy Mac Eel. The rest of those lures were $12, 11, 12, in between 10 and $12. So, and I catch plenty of fish. I mean, I could put a bunch of photos of big fish I've caught up here, but they you don't have to spend an asinine amount of money to you don't have to spend an asinine amount of money to catch fish. Some of these lures that I've seen are $30 and $40, and I don't know. I catch fish just fine with my 10 to $18 lures, probably just as frequent as some of those more expensive ones. You just have to know where to go, know where to look, and know how to use the lure that you're fishing with properly. Yes, absolutely. COC. Live bait is tough. Live bait is tough. It's tough to use. The frozen stuff is it does work, but nothing really, it's a natural, like if you get the live bait, it's a natural, like that's literally what they're eating. That you can't get more realistic than that. That's why people use them. But the like chicken guts, like the gizzards and um and things like that, they do definitely work. They do definitely work because they put out a scent. That's the thing. The fish follow the scent in the water right to them. They do definitely work though. Oh, absolutely. I would assume um that like panfish for you guys would absolutely chase and go and eat a hunk of chicken gut or chicken liver or that cut or that kind of stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And here's the thing. You it a huge part of fishing, a huge part of it, if you're not going to use live bait, live bait, not frozen bait, live bait. If you're going to hook, if you're going to take a bait trap and catch you some live bait and then hook them and send them down, nothing, that's an injured animal because that's an injured animal. There's a hook going through. You know what I mean? That's an actual injured animal. That's why they're eaten. That's why the fish go after them. It's just that's what it is. It's an injured animal. It's an injured, distressed animal. That's and that's like a dinner bell to any predator in the water. As soon as and they can feel those vibrations. Any that's why it's so efficient. So the piece of advice that I would give a lot of people would be you need to like YouTube, and this is where social media actually comes in handy. When you buy a new lure and it's there's all this stuff, oh, this is the greatest lure, look it up. Look it up, learn how to use it, watch people fishing it, watch people using it. You know what I mean? Watch them. Do your research, learn how to fish the lure. So many people I've seen that throw out they'll throw a lure out there and they'll just reel it and expect it to catch a fish. Well, if that's not how you fish the lure, you're not going to catch a fish. Like I've personally witnessed a guy buy a $30 saltwater top water, a popper, one that, a lure that floats on the top of the water, and poppers are supposed to be, there's a very specific way you have to fish them. You have to either walk the dog with them, or you just have to reel and pop and reel and pop. That's why they call it a popper. It's supposed to look like a bait fish, like a bait fish jumping, on feeding on the top of the water. So if you don't make it look like that and you're just reeling it in at a constant speed, it's just literally looking like a boat going through the water. There's no, you need to, people need to research the lure, and, research the lure and learn how to fish it. That would be my advice. I've seen a lot of people misuse lures because they just don't fish them right. They just don't fish them right. That's probably the biggest mistake I see people make when they fish. They don't fish the lure correctly. It could be the most expensive lure on the planet, and if you don't know how to use it, it's not going to catch you fish. That's realistically all I kind of had to have to say about that stuff, guys. So, like I said, my top five lures. We'll go over them one more time in no particular order. We'll go over them one more time. So the paddle tail lures, such as this and the jerk baits, or a squid in the same family there. Top water stuff like these, like this Whopper Plopper or a spook, will induce some big time strikes. The swimming Daddy Mac Eel in the 9-inch length at number 2. The Sp Minnow from Daiwa in the bone camo. As you can see, it's pretty beat up, guys. There's scratches and all sorts of just dings and dents in it. This has been through hell. This has caught me a lot of fish. And then at number 1, obviously the live bait. That's so live, and I mean live bait, not frozen bait, live bait, live pogie, bunker, or menhaden, whatever you want to call them. We call them pogie here in Massachusetts. It's menhaden, menhaden, and or herring, and then you just live line them down. That's the striper can't resist that. But I just wanted to come on here, go live, and just talk to y'all for a few and give you my top 5 favorite lures for catching striped bass off the shore. I appreciate all of the time, guys. That's all we got for today for you. I appreciate all the support. Anybody have any questions? We will wait for a few minutes here, a minute or two, to see if anybody has any questions, and then we will take off. All right. I appreciate the support, guys. I hope this was helpful. Like I said, I just wanted to come on here and give you my top 5 favorite lures that I like to use, and that have been very successful for me. And I appreciate all that. I'm definitely going to try COC. I am definitely going to try and go live more here. I have a lot of content coming up too. We're going to be doing some cleaning videos to show you guys how to clean some of the firearms that I have. And I have a couple of ideas for some fishing ones as well. So that's what's going to be coming up on the channel. But I am going to go get changed, guys. I'm going to take this nice shirt off, and I'm going to put a kind of a scrubbier shirt on and put some put some boots on and head down the dock. And I am going to try and cram in a short fishing session. The time for fishing for striped bass here is winding down. Pretty soon they are going to start their annual southern migration, and we won't be seeing anywhere near as much of them. Probably in the next 2 to 2.5 weeks, the season is it's going to be all but impossible to get a halfway decent sized striped bass because they will be leaving. A good majority of the population swims south. They get out of the cold weather and head down towards the Gulf. So I am going to try and get a short fishing trip in tonight and see if we can pull something out of the water worth taking home. But I appreciate y'all. Once again, thank you for all of the continued support on the channel. We will see you guys live again soon. And I hope all of this helped. Just a little bit of advice or at least help you get started and point you in a direction which way you want to start. Like I said, if I was going to tell you guys which way to go, if you asked me what's your favorite lure, it's definitely the Daiwa Sp Minnow. And pick your poison in the Camo. The bone camo, you can't go wrong with. There is a white painted camo. It has 3 different colors on it. I believe it's a blue, a yellow, and a red. It's kind of like spray painted dots. It's meant to look like the bunker or pogey around here. Those two camos you really can't go wrong with when it comes to a simple lure for not a lot of money that catches a lot of fish. But that would be my advice to you. Thank you, COC, for coming in. Much appreciated. And I will see you guys on the next one. I'm going to go check out what we have going on down at the dock. I'm going to go fishing again and get out of this collared shirt and put something a little more comfortable on. Thank you guys again from the Urban Outlaw. My name is Bobby, and I will catch all of you on the next one. Tight lines, guys, and I will see you later.